like I want it. That's facts. I want it like I want it, nigga.
I think it's Souls-like fatigue, honestly. The only Souls-like I've truly enjoyed in the last, couple years is Elden Ring and Black Myth Wukong. Everything else is just like a shit.
By developer S-Game to play Phantom Blade Zero, and this game is not what I expected. I mean that in the best way possible.
Reskin.
Like, I was really surprised by how fast and fluid the combat feels and how weapons have a huge impact on how you play.
This shit looks crazy.
I learn more about exploration during my 3+ hours of hands-on time and have some extra info from the developers as well. On a quick housekeeping note, the mild mode disclaimer you'll see on the top right of most of the footage is regarding the blood and gore, which YouTube doesn't tend to love. It has no impact on the actual gameplay, however, so just pretend it's not there. Okay, so in Phantom Blade Zero, you play
this game is
Sol,
gonna be so sick,
man.
man.
Mysterious order who is pinned for the murder of their patriarch. Of course, there's a lot more going on, but I did not engage with much of the story during the demo.
Oh, that shit is so tough! I can't wait for this game.
We were able to explore is completely optional, and while it has its own contained little story, it is not tied to the main quest. And that gave me plenty of time to focus on the highlight of Phantom Blade Zero, the combat. At first glance, you might think the game plays somewhat similar to a Souls-like, given the lock-on feature, recharging healing flasks, checkpoints throughout the level.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't like Souls-likes anymore. I just don't. Like, the only one I have any interest in playing is Black Myth Wukong's DLC, because that is the greatest single-player game that I've ever played. I enjoyed, except for the pagoda on chapter 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, actually, no, I take that back. The lower pagoda. The lower pagoda on Black Myth Wukong chapter 3. Oh! That place. I got through it. I got through the lower pagoda on my New Game Plus run, and I was like, man, the fact that I have to do this a third time to unlock Wukong's stance, I just don't give I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll do it eventually, but it's so unfun. Aside from that, Black Myth Wukong is the greatest game ever made. Deadass. What was the last Souls game I played? I guess by definition, Stellar Blade. But Stellar Blade is... Black Myth Wukong had some bullshit in it, but it was fair. You have so many abilities and so many transformations, and there's so many ways around certain things that it doesn't feel oppressive. It's like, okay, I just need to adapt to the differences in this new area.
But Phantom Blade Zero takes these elements and mixes them with other influences and new ideas to create something very unique.
This game passes the vibe check,
when
though.
You start fighting your first opponent. Just a quick refresher on the game's combat system, light attacks in Phantom Blade do not cost stamina, or Shachi as it is called, meaning you can keep attacking until you have to dodge or parry.
I do have one genetic limitation,
depicted by this bar under an enemy's health. Once an enemy is broken, they can no longer block your attacks and every one of your hits will stagger them. Heavy attacks do cost Shachi, and you want to balance this resource carefully as it is also required for blocking incoming attacks, so running out leaves you open to being hit. And while that is
also Wukong doesn't have a parry. It's dodge. It's dodge based.
You are able to be. You can transition into a dodge or parry really fast since attack animations are super quick, so there's pretty much no...
Yeah, but I genuinely think that if I didn't have
the fact that swapping weapons refills
an extra vertebrae in my
also
spine, I'd be a good deadlifter.
You can even extend a heavy
Could be
combo
wrong.
by transitioning to a different weapon to refill your resources. Enemies themselves also attack pretty relentlessly, especially on the highest difficulty Hellwalker, because yes, Phantom Blade Zero has multiple difficulty modes that you can pick from. Regardless of difficulty, your moveset as Soul is incredibly diverse.
I'm picking the middle one.
Combos, ultimate attacks, and your special
I picked the hardest
Phantom
difficulty on Stellar Blade, and I'm mad.
That's closer to
That shit pissed me off.
Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. And I want to talk about those Phantom Edge items for a bit.
This looks so
There is
cool,
more
man.
depth to them than I originally thought.
I'm gonna play the shit out of
this
this.
Review, which I'll link to in the video description, we were under the impression that they were simply a selection of ranged weapons. And while the bow you start with and the flamethrower I was able to use certainly fall under that category, I now also had access to a massive axe that I could charge up for a devastating
That's true.
sword that keeps spinning in
That's
place
a kind of
with
a fun way to
whirlwind,
look at it.
and a giant hammer with a unique jump attack that slams down and pushes all surrounding enemies away. These tools offer options for massive damage, crowd control, and elemental damage, and are way more versatile than simply offering a ranged attack or two.
Whatever.
They even extend their use outside
It's working.
of combat.
It's worked
as
for
some
me.
Phantom Edge
On Tuesdays I'm Mexican though, and Fridays I'm Asian. That is really funny.
also allow you to unlock new areas of the map. For example, the giant axe can be used to smash through barriers, and the hammer can break fragile floors to open up new spaces. Some of these hide cool rewards, like a new healing potion that instantly restores you to full health, but it only has one charge, while others lead you to an entirely new part of the map. What's also cool to note is that club I was using drops from a boss in the area the demo takes place in. And considering that's completely optional, that means that unlocking
is there a
this item
Kanabo?
is too. So
You know
can
what
miss
sucks?
out on some valuable loot
I
if you
love
don't
Kaido
overload
so much in
explore
One
and find
Piece,
all of
and
the
he has like my
tools. And in
favorite
general,
weapon
the
ever,
level I
that
was
big
able
ass
to play
spike
feels
bat.
similar in map design to games like Nioh 2 or the first Dark Souls. There's a clear main path, but side paths
we'll see about that one.
or shortcuts back to a checkpoint, which you can then, by the way, also use.
I don't like difficulty options. I want everyone to go through the exact same experience. That's what I want. In a perfect world, a developer makes a game that's a certain difficulty, and that's it.
To fast travel. And real quick, totally leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for
Because I don't like, what bothers me about difficulty settings is that a lot of times they're just like, it makes it harder in a bullet sponge way or a damage spongy way. It doesn't make them have faster attack patterns. It doesn't give them a new move set. It's just lazy. They just give them a bunch of health and overshield, and then that's it. Some people will say it's easy or hard. Oh, well, whatever. Developers make games. Gamers enjoy what the developers made. So, I mean, if like look at every Souls game. I don't like playing on highest difficulty because it hurts. My thing is, like, when I was younger, I would get a lot of satisfaction out of playing a video game on the lowest difficulty. I mean, on the highest difficulty. That I cared about that stuff when I was younger and I had all the time in the world. Now that like shit's real and life matters and I really have to work hard and try and become something, I don't get the same satisfaction, because like life is hard enough and a video game is supposed to be fun. So if I'm not enjoying it, or I'm just not having a good time because of some artificial difficulty, it's just gonna make me just not want to do it. Like, I'm just like not gonna enjoy it at all. Now it'll be different when I get monetized and I'm making money while I'm playing video games, so it won't feel like a waste, and I will kind of get that satisfaction back. But until that happens, I just gotta lock in.
Phantom Blade Zero content. So while Phantom Edge tools are a significant addition,
Hopefully,
to your
hopefully
arsenal,
in like a year's time, this can be supplemental to my monthly income.
exciting factor
That'll be
in
really
how you
nice.
play are your weapons. You can have 2 equipped at a time, and all weapons fall under 3.
These
categories:
animations
single
are
blades, dual blades,
sick.
and heavy blades. As a trained swordsman, Soul only sticks to swords, but don't underestimate how much variety.
Go through a
each
hard gaming
individual
session.
weapon
Exactly.
brings to the table. Every one
Like, let
of
me
the
just
30+ weapons.
let
has
me
at
just
least
hop in
one
a
unique
Marvel
mechanic,
Rivals
and
game and
some
just
even
call
have
it a night,
multiple
bruh.
or unique combos to make them stand out. Take the White Serpent and Crimson Viper, for example, a sleek pair of dual blades. That
These
have access
animations
to some
are
unique
bananas.
combos where you throw out one of the blades mid-combo. Since it has some range incorporated,
This
into
is a
its
game
skill,
for
you can
guys.
also use this pair to execute enemies from afar. When enemies get to low health, a button prompt will appear when looking at them, allowing you to trigger a finisher animation that will instantly kill them. There's actually another pair of dual blades that
I don't
can
even know what
range
he's fighting, but this just looks
death,
sick.
So you'd expect it to be very similar in other aspects as well, right? Well, wrong. This pair of discus-like blades has a completely different moveset, and these special ranged combos it has access to fire a spread of homing projectiles instead of throwing out a single dagger. Plus, this weapon also allows you to phase out of existence when dodging, so very useful for when you get surrounded too. But yeah, with 2 kind of similar weapons already offering so much variety, you can see how they have a big impact on the way you play. I would still recommend you try each weapon you come across, if only because all of them have a unique finishing animation.
Oh my gosh!
But your 2 main weapons, 2 Phantom Edge tools and equipable artifacts will be the main pillars that form your build. While we weren't able to use them in the demo, the devs told us that artifacts provide passive buffs to certain aspects of gameplay, like cutting the cooldown timer for weapon swapping in half. I did...
Please tell me this comes out soon. What? Fall 2026. This game is a year away? Phantom Blade Zero. And I spelt it wrong. Of course I did. Target window fall 2026. Well, that sucks. You just grind social media so when the game come out you'll be getting paid.
That your armor /
Oh,
outfit
man.
will play a role in this as well.
I
There will
sure
be
have
multiple
tried.
different looks available for Soul. They only provide
Yeah.
visual changes. No.
Yeah, I might as well. I might as well just keep going hard. Maybe, we'll see.
actual gameplay benefits. And in general, Phantom Blade Zero takes a somewhat unique
My thoughts on
approach to
GTA
character
6?
progression.
I don't give a
Devs
damn
made
about
it very
GTA
clear
6
that they don't want
because it's
you to
only
grind,
launching
so
on
there is
console.
nothing to be gained by repeatedly grinding.
And I didn't spend $4,000 on a PC to play the biggest release game of the decade on a console. I'm just not doing it. So if it doesn't come out on PC till a year later, so be it.
Finding mobs for
But I'm gonna
experience
enjoy it
resources. In fact, mobs
on
don't even
max
respawn
settings.
when you use a checkpoint to rest and refill your healing flasks. Only if you
Whenever it
travel
comes
to
out.
a different region of the map. You will be
Hopefully
able to
it
upgrade
gets
your
delayed so it
character's
can
stats,
drop
but
on
in order
PC,
to
but
do
I
so,
doubt
you
it.
have to look
We'll see.
for various specific items. These amber stones will increase your max shot.
Making
chi
careers
if you
off of
collect
it? Oh,
4
for
of
sure.
them, and the black ones increase both health and break damage. Both by
I'm not a GTA guy. Like, I like Red Dead. No. Allegedly, it's only coming to consoles for the first year and a half. It was the same with GTA 5. But, like, games based in reality where you're doing, like, an RPG of just, like, a person with human abilities that jumps off a building and dies. I don't know. Like, it's like there's so much fantasy. There's so many, like, anime games. There's so many crazy dark fantasy power, like, games that you can play. So it's like trying to build up some character's wealth digitally. It's like, unless you're getting paid to do it as a content creator, it's just not for me. Like, I would rather GTA RP as a method for content. I don't know how to install those mods, bro. I would love to know how. I've tried to look up how. It's like, hey! Like, I have to pay somebody to install GTA RP for me. A COD anime games person. I'm gonna buy the Demon Slayer game. I might start streaming that. That would be fun. I played the shit out of the first one. I was really good on the first one.
pretty significant 20 to
I played ranked a
30%.
lot.
And by
I was an
finding
Akaza
these special
and
ghostly flowers that
Tengen
also
main.
reveal a bit more of the current area story, you're eventually able to increase your max health, something that you definitely want to do before facing the final boss of this area. And what a boss fight that is. It's honestly one of the most unique fights I've played in a long time,
Chief
because depending on
Disciples
how
Fallen,
you do it,
what?
there are effectively 4 different phases. The first part consists of the boss, the Chief Disciple, and his cohort of swordsmen. While you are technically
Yeah, it's made by
fighting multiple
CC2 as
foes,
well.
their movements are choreographed to feel more like you're fighting a single enemy, like this move where the lead swordsman signals the
That's
gun
so
and will
cool,
strike at the same
man.
time. The little guys can also heal the main enemy, so you can't just focus down on the disciple either. As soon as you clear that first health bar, phase 2 starts, where the chief is drawn into the air and being puppeteered like a marionette, which creates a very interesting style of movement that really throws off your parry timings on your first attempt. The good thing is though that once you've cleared the first phase, every next attempt starts from this point, so you
that's
only have
cool.
to make it through the squad of fighters once. But there is an additional twist, because once this second phase reaches half health, the disciple will summon a second boss called the Red Wraith to back him up, who has a separate health
That
bar
sounds like
to
some
defeat
bullshit.
While much like phase 1, many of their attacks are in tandem, they are relentless, meaning it is very hard to find a spot to heal once both are on the field. But you can actually skip this phase, because earlier in the level you already get an encounter with the Red Wraith. If you defeat her there, in this rooftop duel, she will not show up during the Chief Disciple boss at all.
I
Although
love
the team
stuff
did
like
hint
that.
defeating them together unlocks more of the story and might even be important for a side quest of some sort. If you do fight them together and beat the Wraith, the Disciple actually
Sucks
goes
'cause you
into
can't
an
even enjoy
enraged
it.
mode where he
I've always
unleashes
loved
new and
single player
very
games,
dangerous
but I
combos.
played
So
them
even though you're back to
largely
fighting a single foe, he's even more dangerous
when I had
in
a
this final stretch
very
of the
cush
fight.
job
You are rewarded with
where I had a lot of free
incredibly
time.
cool cinematic finisher once you beat him, and in case it wasn't clear, the animations during combat in Phantom Blade look
This-
absolutely stellar.
bro,
I can't get enough of
this
some of the
game
enemy
is
unique
crazy
finishers that are in the
looking.
game, and the fact that there will be many more in the full product.
I'ma play the
gets me
mess
really
out of this shit,
excited.
man.
And even though I was able to play over 3 hours, I was still left wanting to play more, which is obviously a very good sign. I feel like I've only scratched the surface of what some of these weapons are able to do, and while I still have many
In this
questions
game,
about
I have no
progression
idea.
and
Probably not.
exploration, the game nails one of the most important aspects. Because
Probably
even
only
without
with,
any loot or skill rewards, the
armor
combat in Phantom Blade Zero feels
or
so
outfits.
satisfying that it just kept me coming back for more. When we learn more about the game, we will of course let you know here, so subscribe to not miss any news and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you want, you can watch Jordan's hands-on impression from an earlier demo by clicking on the screen, and
I
will see you
am
in the
going
next one.
to
Goodbye.
play the mess out of that.